Well, it's funny. You know, when train wrecks happen, and they happen to everybody. Anyone who says it's never happened to them is lying. It happens to everybody, and what's the difference is how you handle it. And keeping your cool and keeping your head going, and what am I going to do to get out of this? If it's something personal or with the band. Um, uh, there was one time when I remember the on the Enrique Iglesias tour, and now that tour, this was Enrique's first tour, and he already was a big Latin pop sensation, but he was still singing in Spanish at that point in his career. We toured mostly in South America and Spain, and also in the U.S. And the girls would just scream in the audience, like it was like the Beatles or something. They would just go crazy, and there was like 95% screaming teenage girls and 5% complaining boyfriends. It was his audience. So when he would come out on stage and he would sing, the scream was all high pitched. There was no low end in it, because there was no guys out there, and so it was sometimes definitely loud, to the point where you couldn't even hear what you were playing. And so he had this ramp that we would go out into the front of the audience, and there was this one point in the show he would go out there and he was singing, and the screaming was so loud that he, I think, lost his place where he was, and he came in one beat displaced, and he was I have to think about whether he was one beat ahead or behind. I think he was one beat ahead of us, and we're all looking at each other, and he really didn't know. He was just singing, and he had no idea that he was in a different place. So I looked around to the band, and I'm thinking, okay, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? What are we going to do? We can't keep going like this. But he has no idea. He has his back to us. He's looking at the crowd. And I turned around to the band and I went, bar of five. And so that's what we did. I went like this, bar of five, and mouthed the words. And Chuck Berge was the drummer on that, and he's a phenomenal drummer. And he just did a fill. He set it up, made it really obvious where the new downbeat was, and the whole band just shifted. And all of a sudden, Enrique was in the right place.
That is
And
awesome.
yeah, and he never knew. We told him after the show. He didn't know, because he was lost in the moment. And so something like that, it was like, wow, that's like, that's just like decades of experience with everybody in the band combined, to have the presence of mind to hear, okay, he's there. And, it doesn't matter where, it doesn't matter where the artist is always right, and we as sidemen in the band have to fix whatever you have to do to make the artist be in the right place. Doesn't matter if, the artist is in the wrong place. He has to now be in the right place. So anyway, that was a really, really magical moment that I very much remember.